Okay, guys, we're back again, and it's the Bridge Show. So, today we are gonna be talking about how climate change depends and enhances marginalized communities in their marginalization, and also it affects the people who are at risk of various things. For instance, lack of habitation, lack of food, etc., etc. So I think I spot a lonely bed somewhere in the trees, so I'm just gonna head there right now. Hey guys, I'm not sure how this one's gonna go, so wish me luck. Hi. Can I please ask, where'd you get your hair done?
In Sunningdale.
Okay, so I'm just gonna sit here so that you can tell me more about Manake for now.
Okay.
By the way, I'm Yemrai.
I'm Rutendo.
Okay, I was joking. I really like your hair though. But I just want to ask you a couple of questions, if you're okay with that.
Alright, it's fine.
So I'm focusing on how climate change deepens the marginalization of marginalized communities. Basically, I'm just saying how climate change affects one very already affected name and different social problems.
Oh, alright.
Yeah.
Well, I think it widens the gap between the haves and the have-nots. Mm-hmm. Because if we look at it now, climate change is affecting everyone, but we have those who are disadvantaged already, like the people in the rural areas. Mm-hmm. And when it hits everyone. But then for us who are working, who are still able to get to A and B, we can be able to make ends meet. But then if someone gets displaced in Usumba, Maramba, Pfungwe, and then they have no other alternative, they have no who are working, everyone is based there in that community, it becomes hard for them to make a livelihood. So yeah, I think climate change deepens the gap between the have and the have-nots.
Okay, and then I want us to focus more on like people who are disabled, the albino community, yeah, those kind of people. How do you think this is affecting them, and what are the probable mitigation measures that you might want to tell somebody who was listening or was watching?
Oh, all right. I think they are more affected than us because they cannot fend for themselves. And what needs to be done, I think from the last budget consultation meeting we attended, it was said that those people need to have a certain amount of money that is given to them every month, like an allowance to make them to make their ends meet, because they cannot go to work like us who are able-bodied and all. So
okay, so basically you're saying we are trying to approach life with a more of an equity to everyone kind of mindset, so that instead of saying equality, where we're just saying we're going to give every child a book, we're going to say equity and specialize the book we hand to everybody.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, that's insightful.
Yes.
But to the youth, okay, the budget consultation is for the government. What do you have to say to the youth of today in relation to these issues?
I think the youths have to be very open-minded and be willing to learn about climate change, because if we are to discuss matters to do with climate change, the youth are really there. They are more interested in our SR, HR issues, and climate change seems not to interest them, yet they don't know that it's going to affect them one way or the other. So I think the youths have to take part in these discussions, and then after that, as they innovate and create new ideas, new business models, they also need to create new ideas and business models that are climate resistant.
Okay, guys, so that's it from Ru. She says make business models and ideas that are climate resistant, and also be very open-minded, and make sure you're always there. Pantaros the climate change, guys, be available, because iweweka neniga to affect climate change. Okay, so you talked about being there when they had the budget consultation. Can you please tell me more about that, so that the youth was behind whatever TV, phone, laptop they have right now, get to know that it's very essential for them to be well versed in these things.
All right, so I got the privilege to attend the budget consultation meeting. I think that was the first one at Ambassador Hotel. So I was attending with other PH caterers from Say What. And when we arrived, we had ample time to settle down. But then what I noticed was that the hall was very small. Given the number of people who were coming from different ministries, different communities, it was too small and not ventilated at all. And
okay, so what she is saying is next budget consultation, please make a bigger room so that all of us, because people are watching this now, are so interested, all of us, we want to be available at the next budget consultation.
Yes. And then I also noticed that most of the people we invited were from these marginalized communities. Like we had many people from the community of albinos community, we had many people from the disabled community, and they were coming with their aids. So that must have given the government a hint to make a bigger venue, because when you invite someone who is disabled, you already know that they're coming with an aid, so you should give bigger room.
Yeah, instead of space for one, you make space for two.
Space for two, yeah.
Okay.
So they started coming in, and obviously as a young person you have to stand up for them so that they can sit. So that was one of the big things that I noticed them. And then as the meeting progressed, everything was going well. Everyone was given a chance to air out their concerns of the budget.
Okay, so what were the main concerns that were coming from the people or were representing the marginalized communities?
The lady from the Albino Association mentioned something about how they are dying because of the heat, climate change. As you can see, the sun is very aggressive these days, so it's been affecting them a great deal. And she mentioned numbers, but I have forgotten, but she mentioned the stakes of how many albinos have died due to the weather conditions, right? And she mentioned that there is need for sunscreen for every albino child from the government.
Okay, so I think on the issue of sunscreen, I've met a lot of people, right? Even though they're not from the albino community, I've met quite a number of people, and they're always asking me, does sunscreen really work? And I have to tell you this, guys, sunscreen works. It's good for your skin. Just you don't have to buy sunscreen at $12 because inini kandigatenga inodhura neitofunga kuti chero ndikafenda kamsandimutse ndinotofa zvangu pane kuti mundidire mvura, you understand? So you need to just take care of yourselves. It's hot, drink water. If there's no need for you to be outside during the day, please don't be outside. The heat is intense, and make sure to pass shade and buy an umbrella. Can I fake cap, guys? Cap, you don't have to buy it. No ngoba. Kubira shamari yako inoziva kuti waiba. Fete kuzendo jeri mchiti ndakati mbe maet.
All right. So from the other community that are not albino, they were talking about how most of them reached their 50s or 60s without their own houses because they never got a chance to work. Not many companies are employing people who are disabled. So it was then thought that it would be noble if the government creates maybe an application where companies can access information for people who are disabled but able to work. Imagine this. There might be application that is written, maybe this is Rue, she cannot walk, but then if she's seated in an electric chair, she's able to do 1, 2, 3, 3, right? So if a company opens that application and says that we can make use of this person despite them being disabled, they are probably more willing to employ them. And it's also good for companies to employ these people because it's all part of their social corporate responsibility, right?
Okay, so we're saying to make use of my virtual spaces.
Yeah.
Just put yourself out there, guys. That silly cost digital marketing, do it. Put yourself out there. Be able to do something. Not necessarily have to wake up and go single day. Yeah.
But then one of the downsides about that is most of the disabled people are not qualified enough because from their schools, teachers are said to be running away from those schools because they're saying they're not being paid enough to extra care of these people, because a teacher who teaches kids who are able-bodied is given the same amount as the teacher who is teaching a disabled child who needs special care. So it was said that most of the schools with disabled kids are understaffed. They are left with 5 teachers for the whole school, and most of them end up dropping out of school because they are not taken care of. So at the end, not many of them have
access to proper education.
Exactly. So there is need for the government to emancipate teachers according to the schools that they are at. You cannot pay a teacher who teaches at a school with able-bodied kids the same amount with a teacher who teaches at a school that has disabled kids.
Okay, I think to add on to what she's just said, I think it's also necessary for the youth who are probably on break from school to be able to put themselves to work. Just go and volunteer at that disability center right next to her house. Just go there for a day or two, spend some time, teach them computer literacy, have a couple of lessons. You never know, you might just be hanging with the next Jeff Bezos. So put yourself out there, guys.
True. I think that was all that was said. Yeah.
Okay, so from all this, guys, it's very important for us to just, have a heart, be open-minded. Before you think of giving up, take a breath or two. Somebody else might actually need you in the field. So thank you so much, Ru, for your time. You've been a very interesting
You're welcome.
conversationalist.